What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So yesterday I'm watching Cameron on All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And I got to give Cam credit. He really one of the first New Yorkers, like big time New York rappers or celebrities that came out and really admitted that New York City does not produce basketball superstars, right? New York is a prideful city. Chicago, very prideful. You know what I mean? Like Chicago folks suffer from main character syndrome. So do New Yorkers. Okay, for real. It's for real, right? And so, you know, when you come from a place and you got pride in it, you like to say that your city produces the best of this, that, and the third. New Yorkers will tell you they produce the best of everything. Okay, because they strong in their pride for New York. But Cam came out and was like, yo, we don't produce superstars. And when you think about it, they really don't produce superstars. Now, they produce some all-stars. You know what I mean? You had some individuals that was nice come out of New York, right? You definitely have. But superstars, they're lacking in that area. You know, and that what I really want to know, I'm going to ask the New Yorkers, what made New York the Mecca? Was it, because like when I was a shorty, I had an affinity for New York point guards. I love the crossover ability. I love the flashiness. I love the flashy passes. The handle that they had on the rock, all of that, you know. But when they got to the league, they had some dudes who were all-stars that were nice, but not superstar players. So what made New York the Mecca? Was it the Rucker Park? Was it, you know, I don't know. Like, was it the flashy handle and all of that the New York City guards always tended to have? Or what is it, man? But yeah, because outside of, like, since Kareem and Bernard King, I don't remember a superstar really coming from New York City. Dr. J is from Long Island, and if not, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I've never been to New York, but Long Island is not New York City, right? It's not New York City, right? Donovan Mitchell, he ain't a superstar, but he from Westchester County. You know what I mean? L.O. Lamar was nice. Lamar Odom was nice. Sixth Man of the Year, won an NBA championship. He was nice, but he wasn't a superstar. Chris Mullin was nice. He wasn't a superstar, though. Rod Strickland, Rod the guy. Rod came from New York City, went to DePaul University in Chicago, right? And I wasn't watching Rod or nothing like that. I wasn't living when Rod was there. But I've always heard great things about Rod Strickland and watched him play in the league and watch highlights. Rod was nice. You know what I mean? So what made New York the Mecca? You know what I mean? Pearl Washington. People love talking about Pearl Washington. I didn't watch Pearl Washington play, but I hear so many great things about him. Kenny Anderson is another guard, went to Georgia Tech, that people was like, Kenny was the man. When he got to the league, he was straight. He was cool. But it never materialized into superstar attributes. It didn't. And Cam credits, like, you know, in New York City, a lot of dudes be distracted by a whole lot of stuff, right? They distracted with the streets. They distracted with the girls. They distracted with the jury, the money, and the this, that, and the third, and the liquor, whatever, right? And they get knocked off of their square. But I'm like, yeah, man. Like, I've always known New York City guards. I'm not even trying to be funny. To always have a handle that was flashy, but a lot of them couldn't shoot. They couldn't shoot for real. You know what I mean? And Sebastian Telfair, that's a documentary that I lived by. Me and my homie Kiefer Sykes, right? Kiefer had a great career, University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. Went on to he played a season with, half a season with the Indiana Pacers. Had 22 in the Garden, right? He had 18 against the New York Nets. I mean, the New York Nets, Brooklyn Nets. Kiefer had some really good games, hit some big shots against Golden State Warriors in overtime to push the Pacers to a win over Steph Curry and them. This is my dog. We watched this every day before we went out and hooped because we love watching Sebastian. He was just so, I don't know, he was captivating to watch. His handle, not the drop step, God. The hop step, the floaters, all of that, it was always pretty to watch. But the knock on Sebastian was that he couldn't shoot. That was always a knock on him. You know, and I seen other little guards that couldn't shoot. Steph was decent at shooting. Stephon Marbury. Steph was nice. Steph was nice, but he was not a superstar. Steph really, to me, underachieved in his career. Even though he was nice, he was supposed to be better than what he was. But Steph didn't really lead a lot of winning teams like that. He didn't. I'm sorry. He didn't lead a lot of winning teams like that. He didn't make a whole lot of deep runs in the playoffs or none of that. He was a flashy guy that can score, that can fill it up in bunches, that had a great handle. Yeah, he can wow the crowd, but it just never materialized into substance as far as winning substance. I like Lance Stevenson growing up. Born Ready. I watched Lance. I watched a little online documentary they had on him. All on not YouTube. It was like a website where you can watch all the episodes of him and his career. And he broke Sebastian Telfair's New York City scoring record. But Lance Stevenson was nice. Lance was nice. Born Ready was nice. But he never was a superstar, right? New York City, New York folks be trying to claim Michael Jordan. Y'all got to cut that out. Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, but he moved when he was like 2 or 3. He did none of his basketball skills were honed in New York City at all. So you can't claim him. That's like Chicago. I got a rule. I'll rep Chicago so heavy. My pride in Chicago so heavy. I'm not letting a dude who was here for 1 or 2 years rep the city. That's like Kevin Garnett. He played basketball in Chicago for his senior year of high school. He not from Chicago, dog, just because he was here 1 year. I'm not letting you, especially the stuff I had to go through in the city. The gang banging dudes I had to go through, the blocks I had to walk, the bus routes I had to ride past, this BD neighborhood, this GD neighborhood, this Blackstone neighborhood. I'm riding past Vice Lord, all that, bro. I'm not Four Corner Hustlers. Nah, bro. I'm not giving you a Chicago pass because you was here for 1 year. So, yeah, I can't do that. And I can't do that because I have this rule, too. If they was trash and they played ball here for 1 year, I wouldn't rep them. So just because they nice, I'm not going to rep them because if they was here for 1 year and playing, like, nah. You know, so Mike not from New York. He from North Carolina. Carmelo Anthony lived in, New York till he was like 7 or 8, but his basketball skills were not honed in New York City. It was honed in Baltimore, Maryland, you know? So, yeah, man, I like New York guards. Kemba Walker, a guard, another guard, small guard with a handle, but he was a streaky shooter. He really wasn't a knockdown shooter, wasn't a consistent shooter. And once Kemba's athleticism waned, he really was done because he couldn't get any lift off of his floaters. He didn't have the same explosiveness. And so he couldn't get to the rim and finish the way he once was because he started to slow down, had some injuries. But yeah, he started to lose athleticism, so it was never the same. Now, Chicago got a lot of hoopers that we had that was nice coming out of here. And from 2012 to like 2015, we had a nice little string of dudes be #1 pick or the top 2. We had Anthony Davis. We had Jaleel Okafor. We had Jabari Parker. Now, Jabari and Jaleel, they never panned out. Anthony Davis did, but at times he's inconsistent and he struggles with injuries, right? Chicago had Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas, right? Chicago West Side. You had Derrick Rose, MVP, injury, but he, that's a Chicago, that's a Chicago public school kid that won MVP, league MVP. That's some shit right there. Dude that was on the bus over in Simeon High School, real Chicago dude. He not from the suburb nowhere, outskirts of the city. He's Chicago, Illinois to the bone bristle. And he was MVP. Now, Chicago dudes, the knack on us, we get hurt a lot. You know, we get hurt a lot. We had a lot of injuries. But we had some nice dudes come through the city. But we didn't have a ton of superstars. We had Isaiah. We had Derrick for that time being. Anthony Davis, even though he up and down, people would consider him a superstar. At one point, Mark was the dude. But when he went to Detroit, he sacrificed a lot of his game in order to win a championship. But in Dallas, he was 26, 27, 25, 26. Look up Mark Aguirre's stats. Mark Aguirre's stats in Dallas. But that's from a while ago. You had guys like Pat Bev was never a superstar. I was a role player. Nick Anderson was nice, but after he couldn't live down missing them free throws in Orlando, right? You had, again, Mo Cheeks that's older. You had, what's my man name? Tony Allen. Scrappy Hustler never was a superstar, but Scrappy. You had, Sharon went to Kansas, but he never did nothing in the league. You had, I'm trying to think of some other dudes. I said Quentin Richardson. Little Ayo Dosunmu played for the Bulls. He went to my high school, Morgan Park High School. But yeah, but they not superstars. Recently we had the most recent superstar we had was Anthony Davis. And AD came out in 2012. But yeah, I mean, we had Tim Hardaway. Tim was nice. I don't know if you could say, if you consider Tim a superstar though. He was nice though. He wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a superstar. We had Jawan and THT and he ain't no superstar though. Taylor Horton Tucker. Yo, we had a lot of nice dudes, man. We had a lot of nice guys come out the city and hoop and do their thing. But we just never had, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the list. We never had a whole lot of superstars either. But I want to ask New Yorkers, man, what made New York the Mecca for real? Like, was it Record Park? Was y'all the first guards to really show that guard skill that is raved about? That is like, that people are enamored with? Mark Jackson. Mark was nice, though. Mark was nice. Never a superstar, but he was nice. But I'm like, damn. The top three greatest point guards of New York dude is not in that top three range. It's a dude from Michigan, Magic Johnson, a dude from Chicago, Isaiah Thomas, Midwest dude, and then what was Steph raised? Steph was born in Ohio, but he was raised in North Carolina or something, wasn't he? So that ain't okay, yeah. So, but like recent years, a lot of the dudes that's been killing and superstars been from the West Coast down south. You had some dudes from the Midwest too. You know what I mean? But New York ain't produced no superstars in a long time, bro. So let me know. I want to know what the New Yorkers think and what everybody else think too. Peace.